Hey there, Andrew here with South Appalachian weather for our first spring severe weather season briefing of 2026. It is March 14th. Happy Pi Day, by the way, about 7:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time as I'm recording this. And this is going to be for a pretty powerful weather system that we're expecting to move through the area as we go into late Sunday night, so tomorrow night going into Monday morning. Primary concerns actually going to be, for timing wise, around daybreak on Monday is when most of our area is going to be dealing with the strongest of these storms. So let's take a look at the maps. What we're going to be looking at is a squall line and cold front moving in from the west, again late in the day Sunday, going through Monday morning. And then also a major cool down through midweek with lows in the 20s starting on Monday night going into Tuesday morning and the next couple of days. But thankfully looking like a warm up before we head into next upcoming weekend. Now, to get into the specifics, the low pressure system that is all part of the core of this is going to be moving through the Great Lakes with an attendant cold front moving quickly through the south, again, as we head through Sunday and into Monday. It's going to be moving quickly because of a lower level jet stream with winds aloft. So we're talking several thousand feet off the ground, even above our highest mountain peaks, screaming along at over 80 miles per hour, some much higher than that. Now, when I say a number like that, that doesn't mean those are the wind speeds we're expecting here at the ground, not at all. But what that does mean is these storms are going to be moving quickly. And because there's that much motion, that much energy in the upper atmosphere, we're going to see some of that have the possibility of transferring down to the ground. Now, with all of that in mind, the Storm Prediction Center, the folks out in Norman, Oklahoma, have outlined a slight risk, so a 2 out of 5 on their ranking scale for severe weather across our entire region. Now, primarily, we're looking at a concern of strong straight line winds. There will be a possibility of an isolated tornado or two. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that is just screaming out to me in the numbers and in the information that I'm seeing, oh my goodness, we're going to have tornadoes everywhere. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. There is always that possibility, though, that we could see a spin-up tornado out of a squall line like this with the atmosphere just so energetic. So again, the main thing is be weather aware and be prepared for that possibility of strong straight line winds and possibly a spin-up tornado or two across our region. Now, the timing, again, I've been talking about this early Monday morning time frame. What I mean by that is we're looking at 2 to 3 a.m. through about 10 a.m. by the time the system clears our entire region. So definitely when you go to bed tomorrow night, Sunday night, make sure you got the phone charged up, make sure your weather radio is on and properly programmed, all of those kinds of things, just to make sure if any warnings do come up, that you get those warnings and can react appropriately. Now, after this system moves through, there is a possibility we could see some flurries and maybe some light accumulation of snow on our highest mountain peaks. Exact numbers are really difficult. And again, I mean, the weather's been absolutely beautiful the last couple of days. And with that beautiful and warm weather, the ground is much, much warmer than we've been dealing with a couple months ago. So we're not looking at a blizzard, nothing like that. Just a possibility we could see some flurries on the back end of this. And again, the highest peaks may see a little bit of a light dusting, things like that. Now, again, to get into some specifics and bring this really into local focus, one thing to bear in mind with a squall line like this is the terrain around you. Now, when I say this, that doesn't mean that areas that are really rough with topography that we're off the hook. No, this just means areas that are more open, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples across our region. Areas that are much more wide open and much flatter will have a potential of greater and more increased wind speeds out of a squall line like this, depending on exactly where the storms go. So, for example, southern Gilmer County, south of Ellijay, is in a very wide open and relatively flat area compared to most of our region. Also, wide open areas of Cherokee County. If you think out near the airport, and Andrews is a really good example. Wide open, flat, long valley. There's also some areas like that in Fannin and Union counties, especially along 515. There's some very wide open stretches in there. depending on exactly where any particular strong cells of this squall line may go, areas like that may be at a greater risk of these higher wind speeds. But that doesn't mean that Clay County or Towns County are off the hook. Quite to the contrary, we do have that possibility of some higher wind speeds depending on exactly where storms go. But again, just bear in mind, if you're out in the open, you are going to have that greater potential of some stronger wind gusts. So again, what we're looking at overall, chance of some stronger wind gusts, maybe bringing down some tree limbs, things like that, blowing unsecured stuff around, think trash cans, loose stuff in the driveway, that kind of stuff. That's really our biggest concern out of this. And now to get into the specifics, the specific impacts because of all of that. Number one, power. Obviously, when we're dealing with a system this powerful and this strong, we are going to be looking at a chance of some power outages here and there. It's difficult to predict exactly where anything like that might occur at this point, but just bear in mind there could be some power outages as you're getting up Monday morning. As far as agriculture, main concern is just, again, protect anything that could possibly blow around. That goes for non-agriculture as well. Just any of us that have a house to maintain, that have anything like that, just make sure the hatches are battened down before you go to bed on Sunday night. Our impact to recreation is largely going to be pretty minimal unless you want to count the colder weather later on after this system moves through. But even that is not going to be near as bad as what we typically get on our coldest winter days. Just bear in mind, the weather's going to take a turn more towards one of our blackberry, dogwood, probably dogwood winter. I actually saw dogwood blooming today, so maybe we can consider this our dogwood winter. But impacts to recreation, again, going to be largely minimal. Now, for travel, that is one area that is definitely a concern because of the timing of this system. The squall line is going to be moving through probably right in the middle of the Monday morning commute. So plan for some extra time. Definitely be careful if you are out and about and the squall line is perhaps bearing down on you. If it's getting really windy and really gusty, probably a good idea to pull off and not be trying to travel at highway speed in the middle of a very strong thunderstorm. Other than that, though, we're ready for this. We've seen much, much worse than this is anticipated to be. But again, just be weather aware. Make sure you've got multiple ways to receive warnings, cell phone, weather radio, things like that. Make sure all of that's configured properly. And just be weather aware as we go, again, Sunday night through into Monday. And then we can enjoy weather clearing as we head into the rest of the day on Monday, although it will get much cooler. So all of that to say, again, just keep an eye on things as we head through. I'm not anticipating needing to do an update on this briefing, but if anything significant were to change, I'll put something up tomorrow. But stay safe out there. Enjoy, again, the cool down if you like a little bit cooler weather than what we've been having. And just keep an eye on things as we head through this event.